Okay, so Macclesfield Town have been hit with a 7-point deduction by the EFL. One, failure to fulfil a fixture in December, and two, a failure to pay players and non-playing staff in February. Now, Macclesfield Town, their financial issues are well documented. Very similar situation to Bury and Bolton. They are on the financial precipice. They've survived a winding up order as well in the High Court. Macclesfield are in serious financial trouble. Yes, questions have to be asked of the ownership, but then questions have to be asked of the EFL yet again. The fit and proper persons test for ownership is a joke. Clubs need to be regularly audited. Books need to be regularly opened and transparent. And we know at the moment with this shutdown, League One and League Two clubs are calling for a salary cap and a control on football spending. Now, historically, the TV deal used to be 50% for the old First Division, 25% for the Second Division, and then 25% split up between Division 3 and Division 4, which have now become League 1 and League 2. Then the Premier League comes along, and Rick Parry, him, he used to be in charge of the Premier League, and he was the guy who changed the financial structures and, well, gave us the mess that is today's footballing world. The big 6 clubs in the Premier League are, well, excessively greedy. Plain and simple. Very, very greedy. They're trying to basically force the season to restart. The clubs in the Championship are all trying to sue each other, and the EFL and the TV companies, they're all taking legal action, and League 1 and League 2 are calling for a salary cap. So football is in a financial mess. The coronavirus has exposed the financial mess that is English football. But I will say this. We've already lost Bury this season. We nearly lost Bolton. We could lose Macclesfield Town and a whole host of other clubs, which is deeply, deeply worrying. And, you know, football's got all this money in it, yet clubs are still going into administration, still facing winding up orders, and are still being financially mismanaged and are overspending well beyond their means in all the leagues, Premier League down to League 2. It is unsustainable. The coronavirus has exposed the unsustainability and, quite frankly, the greed of the sport. The sport has chased the gravy train. The money bubble has now burst. For different reasons than I thought it would, but it has now burst, and burst in a catastrophic way. We don't know if we're going to have any more football this season. Other leagues in Europe have shut down. The Bundesliga is planning now to restart on the 16th, not the 15th, as originally reported, because they want to avoid a Friday night game. To avoid, bearing in mind the lockdown has been eased in Germany, issues there. And the clubs decided to go for a Saturday slot. Now, a lot of eyes will be on the Bundesliga. Absolutely. English football was in a mess. Plain and simple. The clubs are at war with each other. The clubs are at war with the FA. The players are at war with the clubs. It's a mess, quite frankly. Questions have to be asked of the EFL, because if the smaller clubs go out of business, which a lot of them very well could, out of the Football League, it will affect the Premier League. It will make the structure unsustainable. But questions will have to be asked of the EFL yet again about the financial mismanagement of a club in their league, their failure to really basically audit the clubs and govern them properly, because there's been a clear lack of governance by the EFL for a very long time, and the greed of the game. And I'm going to use 2 examples of, well, the greed of the game. The Big 6 try to basically force the rest of the Premier League to restart on their terms, or force clubs out of that league, which is going to lead to a further division between the various clubs, the players, and the FA. And the greed of players and the clubs themselves. The clubs don't want to give salary deferrals, they want to give wage cuts. The players are, well, all over the place when it comes to taking wage cuts and wage deferrals, because guess what? They still want to be paid stupid money. Money is the core problem here. There's too much of it sloshing around in the wrong hands, and clubs at the lower level are going to the wall, partly because they're trying to chase the dream of getting to the Premier League, or that league above, so they're overspending. And there is no proper system in place, because financial fair play, as we know, is a joke and unenforceable, to prevent clubs from basically betting the farm. Poker term. Something has to change drastically from top to bottom, because the sport in this country is going to enter a very, very different phase than what the players and the club owners are used to. Billionaires and millionaires are whining about losing a fraction of their wealth, whereas, you know, the non-playing staff, the shop staff, the ticket sales staff, the admin staff, they could lose their jobs. Fans could lose their clubs. And it's all down to greed, massive chronic mismanagement and poor governance. And it's just Macclesfield is yet another club that has been failed by the EFL and their owners, because the EFL have allowed these owners to stay in place and mismanage the club. Plain and simple. We've seen Bury go out of business. We've seen Bolton near the precipice, and a whole host of other clubs over the years go to the wall in the non-league and the Football League. No, even Premier League teams aren't immune from financial mismanagement, poor governance, and greed. Portsmouth springs to mind. Leeds United, when they collapsed out of the Premier League, got relegated and then went into a financial meltdown. So, it's a matter of time before more clubs end up in Macclesfield's situation, regardless of this lockdown or not. Something has to change. Something has to give, because the sport is unsustainable and has been unsustainable for a very, very long time. So there we go. I'm going to leave that there. Thank you very much for watching. Please place your thoughts below. I mean, what changes would you like to see implemented in football? Do you want to see a salary cap for all leagues? Do you want to see a spending cap as well on top of a salary cap? Do you want to actually see wages reduced for the Premier League players? Do you want to see ticket prices reduced? A new TV deal that allows more free-to-air games? A change on kick-off times back to what they were. Stop changing the kick-off times for the TV companies like Sky, BT and the overseas broadcasters. The financial fair play rules, should they be scrapped altogether, or should they be strengthened? There's a whole host of questions, and the fit and proper persons test, which we know is not fit for purpose, needs to go and be replaced with auditing. Plain and simple. That's my view. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Place your thoughts below, and I'll have some more videos for you very, very soon.